Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Monday, December 5th. I am going live every day for December. Today is the 5th day of December, meaning it's the 5th day I'm live in a row, and I'll be here for 31 days in a row so that you guys don't need to go through the holidays by yourself. You got this friendly face to be here with you. So, welcome back to the show and thank you for being here. Couple of things that we have to talk about today, but for the most part, just want to talk about how to prep for a first date. I'm going on a first date tonight. So we're going to talk about the things I do, things you guys do, tips, tricks, anything you've got. I also feel it is important to say, you guys ever have one of those days where you needed to wake up an hour earlier than you did, so it fucks up your whole day? Like, I slept in today until 9, and on the weekdays, you just can't do that. I had my first thing at 9, literally snoozed until it woke up, opened my Zoom straight up. And have just been like fucking flying by the seat of my pants all day because I needed to really be up at 7, could have pushed it till 8. I was filming I didn't go to bed last night until about 6. I was just working. And then I couldn't open my eyes at 8. I couldn't. And I just was like, okay, you need 1 extra hour. So then I slept until 9, and then I've had meeting after meeting all day. And then I filmed this morning too. And then I was doing end of the year stuff with some of my interns for AfterBuzz, and I do the radio show. And it was just like, holy shit, I'm just behind. And that's a bummer because I'm doing this, and then I do the World Girls after this, and then I'm going on this date. So I just I wanted to check in with you guys. I'm only here for like 20 minutes, but I figured I'd use this time to talk about all things you need to do to prep for a date. Now, of course, man, woman, non-binary person, there are different things that you have to do to prep for a date depending on like what you're trying to get out of the date. But we're talking about it all today. Whatever your intentions are, whatever you're trying to do, what do you have to do to prep for a date? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Send me in what your thoughts are on first dates and what you do to get yourself ready for them. So this is the first time I'm going on a Hinge date. This is my first Hinge date ever. Don't really know how I feel about it. I just decided to, time to shit or get off the pot. I've been on Hinge now for a little over 2 weeks, I think. And I've had 80, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87 conversations. 87 conversations with people on Hinge. That's too many for me to not be going on any dates. I feel like I'm being too crazy cautious about it, like trying to get to know every little thing before I go on a date with somebody. So I was just like, okay, the next person who asks me that I feel like I could be into, let me just say yes to the date and see how it goes. So we haven't been talking for very long. And here, I'll tell you the things that I know about him. So here are things that I like. He said, I'm looking for someone deeply curious, which I feel like you guys know. I call myself the most curious person on the planet. And that's the first thing he wrote. So I'm like, oh, okay. I checked that box for him. Who wants to dance? You guys know I'm obsessed with dancing. D and stuff always make fun of because I just will dance anywhere, anytime. Drink mezcal, another win. I'm a great mezcal drinker. And lounge in the sun as much as possible. So he literally described me. Now, that doesn't mean that I will be into him, but he described me. So at least I felt like he would be into me. If we go on a date, like I feel like there will be things for me to talk about with him. He is a psychotherapist, which I don't know enough about to know, could this date go strangely? How are dates with therapists? I just don't know. He says the key to my heart is disco, which again, you guys know I literally had a disco ball installed in my kitchen thanks to Steph getting it for me. And that must mean that he loves disco and I love disco. And then he wrote something that said, well, his last thing I didn't really fully get. It says, what if I told you that hot, dog girls greater than hot dog girls? I don't really know what that means because I love hot dogs also, and I don't have a dog, but okay, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He is 33, which is great. I'm 31, so around the same place. He lives around the same area I do, like 10-ish minutes. So that's nice too in LA. And the other things I know about him is that he is an atheist Jew, which works very well for me, and he's liberal. So those are all things he put on his bio. So I feel like those are good things. And then we had brief conversation in which I know he has siblings, which I like because I'm close with my siblings. And he pretty quickly asked me for a drink, and he picked a place that's really cute by me. And so we're going to get drinks tonight. So we decided that first he asked me, I felt bad. He said, "Can you go on Tuesday or Wednesday?" And I could not go Tuesday or Wednesday. And then he said, "Are you free Monday or Friday?" And I was not free either of those days. But I was like, "Oh, turning down 4 days. I just am so busy." So I was like, "Okay, Monday I should be off at 8. Can we go a little after that?" And so he was understanding and said yes to that. So we're gonna get late. We're gonna get like a 9 o'clock drink or something. But then I started to feel nervous, as most of you guys probably do for first dates. And so, because it's the app, in order to protect myself, and I'm just very honest about these things, I said, "Can I have your first and last name for safety purposes?" And he said yes, and he gave it to me. And then I looked him up. All his stuff's private, but I can see him on different, like LinkedIn and stuff. So I know he's a real person. Oh my God, this little fucking bug has been flying around all day. Anyway, and so my advice to everybody before you go on a date with them is to ask. I think that it's okay to say yes to the date beforehand. Like I didn't ask for his Instagram before I said yes because I don't need that. But if you're going to go on a date with somebody, I do think you should have their first and last name. And I think it's okay to ask for that. And I think for safety purposes, for men, women, for the he's, the she's, the theys, the gays, the straights, the ups, the downs, the in-betweens, it's okay for all of us to be a little nervous in this current climate. So I think it's okay to ask for somebody's info. And then today, I haven't heard back from him yet, but I asked if we could switch to text because I'd like to get his phone number so that in case there's any communication issues throughout the day or I'm running late at work or whatever, that I can speak to him. So those are all basic things. Then there's obviously like your appearance for a date, right? And I've been thinking a lot about that. Let me actually check in streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. You guys are going to have great advice too here. So I want to know how you guys prep for a first date mentally, questions that you're prepared to ask, things that you're thinking of, what you wear, what your thought process is drinks better, what's the best. We're only here for a little bit longer. Our first Streamlabs of the day coming through from Mike. Thank you, Mike. He says, if a guy thinks he's going to have sex on a first date, do you think it's smart to masturbate beforehand? Um, I don't think anybody should ever assume that they're going to have sex on a first date. I don't think anybody should ever assume they're going to have sex on any date. I think that that's weird and it takes two people to consent. So, what is on my fucking computer screen? So, I don't think that somebody should think or assume they're going to have sex on a first date. That being said, do I think that masturbating before a date can be helpful to not distract you from having a one-track mind on a date? Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of people do masturbate before dates so they can kind of get that aspect off of the table and off of their brain, the forefront of their brain, and that's cool. But no part of me thinks that a guy should masturbate in order to be able to last longer. That's not something that like I think I don't think that that is necessary if that's what you mean. But ask me what you're talking about more. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, send in your stuff. So for me, on a first date, going to grab drinks, that means to me casual. I know the place that we're going. I always like to know the place. I hate on a first date when somebody's like, "Oh, I'm going to surprise you." Surprise me any other time but that. I need to know. Men who are dating women, please understand we need to know what to wear all the time. Men are like, "Ooh, let's go on a date. I'll pick you up at 7 and surprise you." Not all the time, but sometimes. It's like, "Surprise me for what? Are we going to a gala? Are we going to the movies? Are we going to dinner? What's the fucking vibe?" Like, I don't need a surprise. I just want to know where I'm going with somebody. And so I know where we're going. So to me, oh my God, this little bug is fucking driving me insane. To me, that's jeans and a cute top and probably sneakers. I usually wear my Nike or my Docs on a first date. especially when I can see somebody's height. And unless they're like 6'4" or above, and that in which case I wearing sneakers, sometimes I'm just way too small, looking up way too tall. I'll wear sneakers or any kind of flats like that. And then I think tonight I'm going to wear my leather pants, a belt, my black Air Force Ones, and are they Jordans? What are they? Maybe those are Jordans. My black Jord. No, they're Air Force Ones. Yeah. My black Air Force Ones. And then I'm going to wear a cute top. Haven't decided what yet. I was thinking about maybe just a ribbed tank top, either like a white one or a gray one, or I have a light blue one, and keep it a little casual. And then because I'm wearing a leather pants, I'm not going to wear my leather jacket. I'm going to wear a, a fuzzy coat. So that's what I'm thinking for outfit. So I was thinking dress for the vibe. Don't put too much pressure on your first date outfit. It should look like how you look. You don't want to like wear that one outfit that's super different. And then if you go on a second, third date, you look nothing like that. Wear something that you wear. And again, this advice is coming from somebody who's gone on a lot of fucking first dates. And while I'm not in a successful relationship, I was previously in a 6-year relationship. And I do have some success in dating. So hopefully my advice is kind of decent. For the men, same thing. Wear something that you would usually wear. I love a guy in jeans and a tee. If that's what you wear that. If you typically wear a button down, great. Like wear what you wear. If you're a little nerdy, you got it and you wear a nerd shirt, great. Just make sure all your shit is fresh. Like be smelling good, be wearing iron stuff or steam stuff. No wrinkles, bibs. First date, present yourself well. Or I'm going to try to. I'm going to be rushing around all fucking day. We'll see how it goes. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. The other thing I'm going to do, because I'm not used to these dating app dates and it's very strange, and I've been having, like I said, 86 or 87 fucking conversations. It's hard to keep it all in check. I'm going to reread our conversation before I walk into the date. It hasn't been that long, but I want to do my due diligence. I don't want to confuse anything with anybody else. Like I want to know what he said. He had, I think, 3 brothers and 1 sister. I want to make sure on those numbers. He said where he grew up. I want to make sure that you have all the information that you already got, and that will give you a better conversation. Kind of like an interview. You guys know I love prepping for interviews. So you do a little bit of your research. I'm not saying I'm not going to go stalking on social media. That's not my bag. But from what he's already told me, what are some follow-up questions I had? Just off the bat, he had 3 brothers and 1 sister. Oh my God, what was it like for that sister? And are they close? And what's the age range? And all of that stuff. So things like that are things that I will be certainly doing. How about you guys? What are first date questions that you need to ask? Things that you're like, on a first date, I have to get the answer to this thing no matter what. I want to hear from you. I always like to ask somebody to tell me about their friends on a first date. I like to say, tell me about your friends. Do you have a lot of close friends from childhood or more from work? Who's your best friend? And you can learn a lot about somebody by how they describe their friends, how long they've been friends, what their mutual interests are, how they met, how they speak about that person. And I always find that to be very, very beneficial. Again, same thing with siblings. I like to know a little bit about their family. Typically, it comes up on a first date that my mom is dead. That's always super fucking unfortunate and puts such a damper on the conversation. But there's not many ways to avoid it if I'm not willing to lie, which I'm not. Typically comes up like, oh, where do your parents live? And I'll be like, oh, back east. And they're like, oh, where? And I'm like, oh, and outside of Boston. And they're like, oh, and what do they do? And I'm like, oh, well, my dad does da da da. And they're like, what about your mom? And I'm like, ugh. So I always say, and then they're like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, it was a long time ago. For those of you guys with dead parents, you know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. It comes up so early all the time, so consistently that it's like, I don't know how to avoid it. You try to dip, dodge, duck, dive, but then just be ready with follow-up thoughts. Like now at this point, I make sure that I attempt to make them feel like it's okay. And it is okay to ask about it. I'm like, no, I'm totally fine talking about it. It was 11 and a half years ago, thank you for asking. And thank you for your condolences. Could have used them 11 years ago. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Guys, I am here every day this month, and so far we have not made more than $10 a day, which is me making less than minimum wage, which is what it is. I am here to support you guys this month. That is my number one priority. But it would be great for those of you guys who are watching every day, who do feel supported, who are coming to the show every day to be entertained, to learn, to talk, to show support yourself. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. I love to hear from you guys. And I want to hear from you how you get prepped for a first date. What advice do you have for me tonight? I also make sure that I take a screenshot and whatever information I have. So, like where I'm going, what his name is, and I send it to either my sister or Steph or Dorina and just say, like, hey, I'm going on a first date. This is the guy's name. This is what he looks like. This is the location we're going to be at. All of this might sound crazy to you if you've never been in a precarious situation. But if you have ever been in a precarious situation, you know that you never want to be somewhere like that again. And you do everything you can to avoid it. It takes 2 seconds to turn on your location and share it with somebody, and it is just a great safety protocol. Something I don't do is do that thing where people set up with a phone call, like, so they call you in the middle of dinner so you can pretend there's an emergency. I think we are all grown-ass people. I know we're grown-ass people. Other than Avery, if you're here, you'll learn this in time, my dear. If you're not feeling a date, stay to the end unless somebody does something egregious. If you're just not interested in them, switch to thinking like, oh, okay, I'm at dinner or drinks with a new person. Let me learn about this person. Let me learn about their way of life. People are interesting. Finish the date, go splitsies on the bill, and then if they ask you out again, say you're not interested. It was so lovely getting to meet you. I'm not interested in going on a second date, but thank you so much for the first date, and best of luck finding your person or whatever it is. We don't have to like be weird as a society where we make up, oh my God, there's an emergency. We see that shit all the time. Just politely finish the date and then don't see somebody again that you don't want to see. Again, unless they do something rude or fucked up, and then feel free to not pretend to make a call. Just say that was rude or fucked up. I'm going to go home. So those are my thoughts on first date stuff. You guys, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. How do you feel? What do you do to prep? Now, a lot of people I know, especially the chicas I know, they will shave their whole bods before they go on a first date. For me, as you guys know, I'm very slow. I'm a demisexual. It takes me a very long time to sleep with somebody, open up to somebody. There is 0% chance when I go out on a first date that that person's coming home with me in this scenario. So I don't even think I'm going to clean my apartment, and certainly not going to shave my legs because those are my legs and they are going to be prickly tonight. But I understand that that's not the only reason people shave. Obviously, people shave to feel sexy. People shave not to be fucking itchy. People shave for all different reasons. So if that's part of your routine, go on with your bad girl self or boy self or whatever self. I was filming all day today, so I did loose waves in my hair, and I probably might throw in a couple more before my date. I'll probably do a light gloss. And the other thing I'm thinking about is I usually Uber to a first date. I know people have strong opinions on this because if you're Ubering, it makes it seem like you're going to get drunk, and that is weird to some people. I don't go anywhere and have a drink and drive. It's not my bag. And I definitely don't go and have 2 drinks. And oftentimes on a first date, especially because we're going to get drinks, we're not getting food, we're getting drinks. I will have 2 drinks. Sometimes I'll have 3 drinks if we're going for a while, but either way, I Uber so that I can feel free to do what I want. And worst case scenario, I end up having 1 drink, waiting an hour. I could have driven, but I'm Ubered anyway. I know it's not the best thing for our wallet. Luckily, he picked a place that's 5 minutes from me, and I would walk there. I used to walk there all the time, but unfortunately, because of the state of Los Angeles right now, it's just not safe to walk at night by yourself. And I don't want to have him walk me there because I don't want him to know my address, which is something I'm also very cautious of on a first date. So that streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Y'all maybe haven't been going on some first dates because I'd love to hear from you. And I want your guys' advice. No, Mike had the only question about masturbating before. Nobody else has questions on first dates, comments, concerns. Let me know. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Another thing that I think is important is to make the other person feel as safe as possible. I I think that we can do a lot by providing information and making the other person feel comfortable, right? Ask questions, let your intentions be known, be vulnerable, all of those things. I'm excited to meet somebody new tonight, whether it's my person or not. I'm a curious person, and so I'm genuinely curious to get to know that person. So my intentions going to the first date is to get to know somebody. I just want to get to know him. That way I'll be able to figure out, is this my person? Is it not? Have a good time and get to know somebody and kind of leave it at that. Haskell says, hi, Roxy. Say you're not into the guy and going to finish out the dinner like you noted. Then he says Yellowstone is the best show on TV. Second thoughts? No. No, if you're not into somebody, you're not into somebody. It could be for a plethora of different reasons. And I don't know if I'm going to be into this guy. To be honest, I don't have a type usually, but um, I I can't fully tell what this guy looks like based on his 5 pictures. They're pretty far away and a couple of glasses on, and none of them are smiling with teeth. All are closed mouth. And so I genuinely can't get a sense of what this guy really looks like. Not that looks are everything and by any means, but like a little nervous I won't recognize him tonight. And when I looked him up, I couldn't find any additional photos. So I don't know. And I also couldn't get much of a sense from his profile about his personality. He says what he likes, right? Somebody curious who wants to dance, drink mezcal, lounge in the sun. That would make me think he likes those things too. But he's saying that's what he's looking for. Who knows if that's what he is like? He's saying, that like there's a photo of him at a wedding, there's a photo of him at an airport, there's a photo of him in the water. I don't know whether that's a pool or I can't quite tell. It's very green. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm attracted to him. We'll see what the conversation is like. You don't know what somebody's voice sounds like. It's also new and interesting. And I'm new to the world of online dating. I've only gone on 2 online dates, and they're both off this other app. It's a little more small, and I knew people who knew the people. This is somebody that I have no mutual friends with, and it's nerve wracking, but it's exciting. It's exciting. I like first dates, even though I also hate them. Kind of like everybody else in the world. Here for a couple more minutes. Ask your questions, get in your comments, concerns. I would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget, we are recording the World Girls at 3:00. Can't wait for you guys to jump over there. And so far, my favorite person on the show is Mike. Thank you for being our one Streamlabber of the day. Oh, and Haskell for super chatting in. Even though the super chats, don't forget, they take 50% of it, which is so annoying. So yeah, we're going to be doing the World Girls. And then tomorrow, I think I'm going to have to go live early in the morning. So I'll keep you guys posted on timing on that. But I think it'll be early. It might be up against SEN. It might be earlier though. We shall see. We shall see. But I told you guys I'd be here every day. That's what everybody say. So that. And then on Wednesday, we're doing I tape big thing for you guys for Thursday, but then we're also doing another episode of World Girls, which is gonna be fucking great. And I will also be here in between those things. And then Thursday, you'll see big thing, and then I'll be here. And then Friday, only stupid answers, and then I'll be here. A lot of me here. I did want to update you guys who've been asking me about Colin. I was let go, and that fucking sucks. I had a contract that was 6 month with an option for a 6 month or for 2 6-month extensions, and I didn't get it. And that was a huge hit to my wallet, my ego. For those of you guys who did listen to my call-in show, I really appreciated it. I really liked doing that show, and it was a lot of fun. I really appreciate the girl that was my producer over at Colin. She was awesome. She was always super upfront and honest with me and wonderful. And I'm so grateful for her. And it wasn't her decision at the end of the day. It's a company decision. But it does suck. It does suck going into the holiday season to be out that money that I really was looking forward to, and to be out those followers that I was talking to in a specific way there. And bummer, just a huge bummer. Just losing another job at the end of the year sucked. And I really thought that they were going to give me the 6-month extension, and they didn't. And yeah, going into, I found out last week, and then it was confirmed this morning. So just, yeah, fucking brutal. Nothing against that app. I know that they were dealing with a ton of different glitches and stuff, but really, truly, the girl that was my producer was so lovely to me, and I'm so grateful for her. But it's a bummer because you help to build something up, and then also you expect you're paying your rent off of something, and then you just don't have that anymore, and it's just been fucking difficult. So anyway, I'll be talking more about entertainment stuff here, but yeah, there's no more call-in happening for me. And yeah, and I know that puts more pressure on you guys. I loved doing that show so that you guys could just call in and talk for free and all that stuff. I am thinking about revamping my Patreon, which I haven't been using, and it's been such a point of embarrassment for me what happened with my Patreon. But I think that I am going to, in the new year, try to do different tiers to call in on this show and things like that, which I will keep you guys posted on. But first, I want to do this 31 days here so that I just make sure I'm here with you guys through the end of the holidays. I have to get to my World Girls meeting, so I am going to go. Thank you to all of you for being here. Much appreciated. Jimmy Nails, thank you so much for that big support in the Streamlabs. He says, romance question. I find myself romantically interested in a person who IDs or identifies as mostly asexual. Their words. How can I assure them it's not about sex without being weird? Such a great question, Jimmy. Jimmy, I'm so invested in your love life always. I wonder, I would be interested in asking them more about, because asexual is different for different people, more about if they are looking for companionship romantically, and instead of reassuring them or assuring them it's not about sex, why don't you try to find out what it is they are looking for and see if that even is a good fit? Because if it's not about sex for somebody, if they are mostly asexual, then what does drive them, and what are they looking for, and what kind of way? So that. Okay. So much love to you guys. Thank you so much. I hope that helps, Jimmy. If anybody else has advice for Jimmy, please include it. And thank you, Sam, for that Streamlabs. Appreciate you, Sam Red. You rock. You guys all rock. Thank you. Thank you. Much love to all of you guys. Stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat and live. We don't want those flumes. Don't trump the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice, wherever you're on the rainbow, we love you. We stand with the women of Iran. Holy shit, the bravest women we've ever seen. And Glenn, I still don't know how we're going to close out the show thinking about you, but we are thinking about you. We're just thinking about you, wishing you the quickest, best, most thorough recovery possible. You are the heart of the show, our Zen Glenn. We love you. And I hope to get more updates on you soon. Okay. So much love to all of you guys. Oh, Joseph says golden sparkles. That's a good one too. And Jimmy says always and always. I like that one too. There's just so many good ones. He's got a lot of lines, a lot of beautiful words. All right. Much love, my friends. I will see you later for the World Girls. Later.